And we're live.
Oh, hey up, people. And today's show is sponsored by Freeway Tropical Fruit Crust. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for another Chilling Wargamers, where all the hobby needs and everything else in the world is crazy. We're all very tired. It's going to be an emotional one. And today we have Mr. Elston, Mr. Elston over here, who's here to co-host me.
Hello. Sorry, everyone. I'm giggling so much because Spud literally had a little bit of a panic attack about paint on his shirt and then started drinking whilst I hit the go live button. I just wanted to see what would happen.
It was emotional, as always. And today we have the one and only Mr. Dan from Lion Tower Miniatures.
Woo! I can't do the clap thing anymore. That was I haven't been able to do that for years, actually.
Oh, cheers, guys. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome, dude. And thanks for joining us today. You know, it's Dan's first time on the Chilling Wargamers, so we'll make it easy. We'll take it easy.
Spud's drinking tropical. I'm drinking tea, and Dan, I think you've got some of the more entertaining variety of.
Yeah, a bit of Jack Daniels going on.
Nice,
Bit of Jackie D.
Nice. I like it. Cool. So, anyone who doesn't know who Lion Tower Miniatures are, I'm just going to do a little quick bit of introduction, and then I'll let you spew on about whatever you want to, Dan, and you can talk about yourself. I love Lion Tower Miniatures. I found out about them about I think it was UK Games Expo last year. When
I think it was a bit before that, mate. I think you came before us there.
Yeah, because I can't remember when. It was a little bit before that. UK Games Expo was the kind of big highlighting thing where I was like, "Oh, this is where." But there was some stuff happening beforehand, and there was a little bit beforehand. I know the UK Games Expo is when I first got my hands on some minis. I think
I sent you some swag before, but I could be wrong.
I can't remember. Either way. Amazing models. You started off with an RPG range. They're amazing. Go check them out. And there's also setting up with Wrathborn as well.
Okay.
If you haven't seen, go check out my Facebook. Painted loads of minis, painted loads more up. There's a video tutorial coming out soon for the Snow Troll, which I've painted green. I don't know why a Snow Troll green, but it looked cool. And yes. So I'm going to throw it over to Dan. Do you want to do a little bit of an intro to yourself and what you do, what you like doing, and anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, Christ.
So,
no, go far away.
I was just going to say, when did you set up Lion Tower Miniatures?
It was a couple of years back now. I've been doing kind of freelance sculpting since about 2006, just odds and ends. Started in traditional putty, green stuff, and all that kind of business, and then kind of moved into digital media. Crikey, got to be about 6 years ago now, 7 years ago. Got on my ZBrush, bit of Blender. Well, Blender first, and then I thought, screw this, I'll spend some money and buy ZBrush. And then just got to the point where I thought, you know, instead of just doing commission work, I'll do it for myself. I'll do my own range. I'll do what I want to do. We did a Kickstarter a couple of years back, launched in February. I remember getting the wife to press the launch button on her birthday, and then we sat there and watched it. And it was funded within about 48 hours, I think. And it just went really well. And I did the idiot thing of a complete Kickstarter noob. Over promising, a bit overexcited, ended up over committing and delivering the next planned Kickstarter within the same bundle. I'd set out to do 11 models in total, and I ended up delivering 36. And this is why I've got kids, a day job, and a wife who, you know, wants my time as well. So yeah, it's been a really hard couple of years actually, but it's it's starting to plateau out a little bit now. I think, you know, I'm getting my mojo back a little bit after the birth of our second child. So
Yeah, we all know about the trials and tribulations of life versus the hobby.
We do very well.
Everyone knows it. Well, if you don't know about that, then I would say either you don't have a life or you don't have the hobby life, and you can't balance it one way or the other. So, also as well, if anyone's wondering why I'm going gangster here with the hood up, it's freezing in my house. So that
Andy's from the south.
Yeah, I'm from the south. We need extra big coats.
You've got a lovely red glow around your ears, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking there's this, like, if I could pull this off, turn the lights off, I'd do this kind of alien thing or something like that. Like, if I do that, it kind of, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
And obviously, I found my hat again.
Amaze balls. That's the source of all his powers.
It is. Without this, I'm just a quiet person.
Yeah. Spud, how long do you think it can be before we talk about Avengers Endgame?
Never.
Don't do it. I haven't seen it. You know.
Next week. I'm going to.
I think we have to wait a month, and then it's free game.
I'm vetoing the cinema. I don't do the crowds, so I'm not going near a cinema to watch it. I need to wait until that thing's on Sky so I can download it. And
no, you can't wait that long.
It's killing me. I'm on it. To be honest, it's killing me. But you know, a 3-hour-long movie, I want to watch that with a whiskey in my hand, sat in the comfort of my own home. So.
You'd be surprised. It doesn't actually feel like 3 hours. It's one of those films where you can sit through the entire thing, and it's just like the whole thing. It's generally, it doesn't feel like a 3-hour film. So, yeah. Spud, you were going to say something?
I can't really look at the comments. I don't think my internet's been a bit weird, so I'm just going to check. Oh, yeah, so it is working. Sorry, it must have had a doodah, so I might even cut out for a moment then.
No. It looked like you were kind of holding your breath for something like.
Oh, so we've got Mr. Peter Higgins, we've got Richard Eden. Underdog Painting, Ian Matthews, Normskate, Graham Rigg.
Yes. Nice.
All in the chat. So thanks for joining tonight, just for the live version. Emotional times.
Nice. So, Dan, sculpting. You are now our new friend who is a sculptor. We've had friends that are sculptors before, but they've gone on to do other things.
Yeah, they've outgrown us now.
They're like famous now and stuff, and they're too important to hang around. But that's what we do. We set everyone up to become famous, and then they leave us behind.
I think
Actually, where is Dennis? Have you spoken to Dennis recently at all, Spud?
I've seen his work and stuff posted about, but I've not spoken to him for a while.
Yeah. Dennis from Savage Forge Minis was our sculptor from Germany, but I haven't spoken to him in ages. So either way, back to Dan. Sculpting, 3D sculpting. This is kind of the new era for wargaming. I just knocked off the speaker. This is a new era for wargaming because it starts releasing a lot more potential for what we can do and achieve sculpting. I mean, Games Workshop, but silly abusing this power with the models they're creating. It's just like, that's not going to go in my case without breaking now, is it? That's going in, and that's coming out in 2 pieces.
Yeah, 100 tiny little fragments of something you have to glue together by.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly. So, but the transition between standard sculpting and 3D sculpting, did you find it much of a painful thing? Was it an enjoyable transition?
It was quite easy, actually. The first package I ever picked up was Blender. It's completely free, but it is box modeling. It's kind of, you're dragging points all over the place. And it's quite a slow process, and you can't really do organics very easily in there. They're possible, but they're not great. And then I found a program called Sculptress.
Right.
And Sculptress was amazing, but very, very, very limited in what you can actually do with it. And you basically start with a big ball of digital clay and just carve into it, drag it out, and it kind of created geometry as you do it. So, like, instead of just pulling out a big plane that you can't do anything with, it just kind of created something you could carve into and stuff still.
Oh, cool.
Still look good, and it was a great bit of software. That's ended up being bought up by the guys at ZBrush, Pixelogic, and ZBrush itself. The reason I picked that up was because it was kind of like akin to that Sculptris package.
Right, gotcha.
So you start off with your your basic shapes, and essentially all the kind of stuff you would do with clay and putty and everything else you can do in ZBrush. Right, you have the added bonus of a symmetry button.
Oh,
Instead of having to, faff about doing the left-hand side of a face or the right-hand side of a face, and then trying to like flip it upside down and trying to replicate the left-hand side of the face, literally you do one half of it, and the other half magically happens. It's just such a time saver. It's crazy.
And then
something so simple like what probably didn't think about at the time, and they thought, oh yeah, because it is cool. Because I'm gonna say like if when you replicate it, you can like obviously then damage one side or whatever. But then before you'd have had to do it. Oh my god, that would have been so stressful.
Yeah, I mean you kind of start with if you're doing things like faces and stuff, you really do want to be symmetrical.
Yeah.
You sculpt them with the symmetry on, turn symmetry off, and then repose them, tweak them, adjust them, sculpt your asymmetrical details, and it's such a time saver. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I'm guessing if you want to do like a frowning face, you want both eyebrows to be doing the same thing. You turn the symmetry on, and you get on to do that, and then turn it off if you want to have like scar running down that one or something like that. So it's such a simple. I mean, this is kind of an area I have no real concept. I've got a 3D printer, but I'm just looking at all I'm doing is just downloading stuff from Thingiverse and throwing it in the printer, and out it pops.
I need to see some files actually. You can give them a whirl and see how you get on with them.
Yes, let's do that. I've got a real annoying thing with my computer at the moment. Every time I throw it through the slicer, if it's too complex, it goes, it just crashes the program. So I'm not sure if it's my motherboard or my processors just can't handle that kind of stuff. I don't know. Might need to upgrade, but
usually the processor. I've got an i7 in my machine, and it kind of runs like a dream. But
yeah, see, I've only got a Ryzen 3, and I kind of thinking, yeah, I probably should go for like a Ryzen 7 or something like that. Or
so for everybody like myself, we actually have a translator in the bottom corner explaining what they're both on about, because for that whole minutes. Just sounding like Klingons were talking to each other.
Amazing. Well, yes, I'd love to give the files a try. But yeah, the 3D sculpting element it's so fascinating to me. And I wish I could do it. Yeah, and I need time to go at it, but I've starting to find out my akin is painting, and it's my way of doing it. People are converters, people are builders and stuff like that. I'm pretty much a painter, and I can build, I can put stuff together, that's fine, but I'm a painter at the end of the day, and I'd love to kid myself to be, I'll become a sculptor, and I'll do this as well, but likelihood, probably not, I'll probably go back to painting.
I'll tell you though, I got into sculpting completely by accident. I've been painting since I was 7, so like 1987, I think it was, or something like that. 5, sorry. Since I was 5, 1987, 1988, I first started painting models.
Right.
And
31 years ago.
Isn't it scary?
I was born. I don't know being born.
I was just being born.
No, I started. I remember I bought a Hero Quest box set, the Advanced Hero Quest.
Yes,
I bought that from a car boot sale.
Yeah,
I got there with one of the, these paint by number sets where you had like the nylon bristles and they had a flat end and you stab things with them because they were such hard.
Yep.
I remember painting the entire box set using this stuff, and then going to Games Workshop and discovering it was a thing. Buying paints and box sets and stuff, and that was it. Then I was straight in there. But it was. I think I'd collected like a massive Vampire Counts army, a massive Skaven army. I was really into like my Warhammer Fantasy, and I got a couple of 40k armies as well. And I'd ventured into other systems. I don't know if you remember Urban Mammoth and Void and
Void. I remember Mammoth. I don't. But...
They became I-Core afterwards, but they were. I think,
yes.
Well, it might be the other way around. It was I-Core, and then it was Urban Mammoth, or it was Urban Mammoth, and then it was I-Core. But it was a nice little alternative game system, and our local game club were kind of picking it up and playing it a little bit. So we kind of all got into that. And I kind of went off and kind of did all that business. And then when I was about, I don't know, about 17, 18, I got my first like proper full-time serious girlfriend. Didn't really have time for the hobby.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all gathering dust. Actually, it's worth a bit of money. Let's sell everything. I was a massive converter, and one of the things I really enjoyed was converting the models and having something really unique. And I'd gone and got like this massive bits box I'd accrued from all these metal models that I'd hacked up over the years, all the plastic bits I collected.
Yeah.
And when I sold all my gear, I sold my entire bits box, and it was the biggest regret I've ever had.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and then
We've all been there as well, haven't we?
Yeah. I imagine everybody's got a similar story, to be honest. But we, you know, I got back into it. Then 3 years later, we kind of split up, and I was sitting there at a loose end, thinking I need something to occupy my time. And I went back into the hobby, got the models again, but then I've got nothing to convert with. And it was available at this point in Games Workshop. They were selling it in the blister packs. So I bought a pack of green stuff, and I started like doing little conversions with sculpting and stuff like that. And then they got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually became entire models. And that was kind of how I fell into it.
Oh, cool!
Oh, what? That's mad.
Yeah, I'd never intended. I never sat there and thought I'm going to be a sculptor. That's it. You know, I was a painter who liked to do a little bit more than just paint, and then kind of ended up doing more of the sculpting thing. And then got to the point where I thought, you know, I'm doing whole models. I'm not too bad at it. I'll do some commission work. I'll sell some stuff, make a bit of extra cash. And that went fairly well for a couple of years. But, you know, I had an opportunity a while back, actually. You know, Stargate Atlantis?
Yeah.
Right about the time that first came out, I did a test sculpt for the company that launched in Stargate Atlantis model range.
Oh, okay.
But the models all had to go and be approved by the actors. They had to be put by them.
Wow.
I did a test sculpt of Tilk, I think it was.
Right.
And it was. I couldn't commit to it at the time. I was earning a full-time salary. The amount of work they wanted was like I'd literally need to down tools and sculpt full-time. I wasn't brave enough at the time to take the leap, but I wish I had. But you know, it was kind of like, you know, well, I've got a full-time paying job or a hobby for a living. But you know, once that job's done and dusted, have I got enough, you know, continue? And this was before the internet, before you could set up, like, you know, I say before the internet. I sound ancient, don't I?
Before the internet, God.
Before all the Facebook groups and all of the, you know, social media and stuff like that. It was, you know, it was hard work trying to find clients at the time. But
I guess it's like actually you got to pick up the phone and talk
that's it.
mail and stuff like that.
And they're all over America and all over the place, and it's kind of like, I've got to sit up till like, you know, 11 o'clock at night and make a phone call to some guy at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's proper ball ache, but
yeah.
So.
It's an interesting thing when you said about obviously after you split up with your missus, you go back to doing that, and this is the similarity that happens that I've noticed with every single person. They hit the puberty stage, the teenagers, everything like that, they get life, they go crazy, everything happens between that sort of bracket period, and two things happen: you find a girlfriend, partner, and then you sort of hook up for a while. Now, the next thing, one of two things happens. You either split up and go back to your hobby, or your partner accepts you going away doing other things through the environment, and you go back to your hobby.
Yeah, to anybody listening who's in that early stage before your girlfriends and all that kind of stuff, never sell your bits box.
No, you will go back. You will go back to it. You will go back to it, and one or two ways it will happen: either you'll get rid of her or him, depending whoever, or they will be tired of you and want you out of the way for a little bit. So that is your chance to go do it again.
But your models will never leave.
Exactly. And then when you get into it and do it too much, they will want you back to go do normal stuff with them, and then you have the balance. And
we've got the balance.
That's the balance trick. And
the balance.
You can never fix that. That is always.
So I've got a question, Dan. Go for what is a positive and a negative of hand sculpting and like doing 3D work?
Good question.
A bit like comparing, like when people say about like materials, like with resin, metal, and stuff like that. Like, what are the ups and downs? Both.
What's favourite paint brand and all that business? I think the pros for digital are obvious. It's you've really got to kind of appreciate the symmetry aspect of it, and the fact that I've now got an entire library of bits that I've made over the last couple of years. Every time I make a new sword or a new bit of armor, or a new head, or anything that's a little bit different to anything I've done previous, that piece gets saved into a little library. And then next time I make a model and I go, oh, I need an axe, I think, oh, all them Nordrassel models had a nice battle axe, or that Viking Berserker's got a good one.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah,
I'll go through my library, find look at all the axes I've done, and go, that's a good base, or I'll just nick that one as it is and just launch in. Buckle. Every single one of my models has probably got half a dozen buckles on them, and they're all the same bloody buckle.
Yeah. A buckle's a buckle, isn't it? There's not many different unless you wanted to customize it to have a special one.
The thing is, mate, by the time if you're looking at you got a bracer with like 2 straps around here on a 28mm, 32mm miniature, you ain't gonna really see that buckle.
No.
So the fact that I've chucked the same buckle in on every, have a look through my model range and count them up. How many times I've used that one piece. It's probably the most used piece I've ever made. Actually, it's the best investment ever.
A buckle.
Yeah. It's just silly things, but as daft as it sounds, like the way I sculpt is quite. You start with quite a simple shape, and then you throw a little bit of detail onto it at the end. Mm-hmm. I try and maintain a 70-30 ratio, 70% of blank space to kind of rest your eyes on. Do a little bit of paint wizardry and whatever. Yeah. And then 30% of nice detail bits to draw your attention.
Cool.
And if I can strike that balance, I'll class it as a success.
Cool. Cool.
You can start with some real simple shapes, and then throw a couple of buckles on there, and suddenly you've got a finished piece. And nobody really kind of realizes it's a couple of blobs with a buckle throw.
Yeah. I guess the massive upside as well is that you can rescale if you want. You can.
No, you think you can. You think.
You can't.
No, if I take you and I scale you down to 28mm, 32mm, and stick you on a table, none of your zip's not going to show. Your little cord thing's not going to show. Your creases in your shirt I'm going to show. None of that's going to happen. You have to exaggerate everything. The smaller you go, the bigger the exaggerations need to be.
Right.
Something that's 28mm and blow it up to 72mm, the detail doesn't scale with it very well. You have to still go back and make adjustments. So a lot of people think you can do that, and you can to a point. Yeah. It looks like a 28mm scale that's been scaled up. It looks like you're doing a free up for plastics.
Yeah, I'm guessing more I'm guessing little cheap tricks. So if you had a large belt buckle, you could make it into a slightly smaller buckle if it was going around.
Right. Done it loads. Again, have a look at my model. You'll find it all.
Buckle.
Yeah. They just get reused, chucked everywhere. You'll find pieces on my models that aren't even intended to be pieces for what they are. They just kind of happen to fit where I've stuck them.
Yeah,
it's one of them. It's one of them things. But I suppose we've putty sculpting, to go back to Spud's question, that the digital's got loads of bonuses in the symmetry and the library aspect of it. Being able to just assemble parts. I can do an. Did you see the Nordrassel Thane I put up the other week?
Yeah.
Yes.
That entire miniature was 2 hours start to finish.
Wow.
And the reason it was 2 hours was because I'd already sculpted all the Nordrassel models, and apart from having to make some tweaks to the sword, sculpt a new head, and pose and tweak and whatever else, most of the bits on there were actually pre-existing off other models.
So you can just chop and change it and put it together, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's total bastardization. It's like a mad conversion.
Yeah, it's a kit bash.
Yeah.
It's a mad 3D kit bash.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think not everyone is going to look at it and kind of think that's the case. But if you're doing rank and file and regiments and stuff like that, you cannot beat it. I mean, I sculpt all my models starting with a posed armature and then sculpt the detail onto it, so you get sculpted musculature and everything. But it is possible to sculpt a model in the T pose, with arms outstretched, legs down, and whatever else.
Yeah.
And sculpt that model in a kind of a posable format. You have to mess with geometry and everything. And I don't really like touching geometry. I'm not inclined. But if you can do that and you're okay with animating and whatever else, you can rig the model, pose it, and have one model that can be, in 20 different poses with a few variations, and you've got an entire rank and file army made up. You know what I mean? From one base sculpt. You still have to go make tweaks to it to kind of like, you can't just take the pose version. You still got to go back and sculpt in some detail around the joints and stuff. But the majority of it will stand.
So I'm guessing, is it a bit more tricky then with stuff more organic stuff like the lichen fiends and stuff like that? Is because they've got a bit more fur and stuff.
The fur's a pain. I was chatting to there's another sculptor, David Whitaker. David, if you're watching, hi mate. we quite often end up chatting about how we've managed to do various different things, and you can pretty much stamp texture onto models and things like that, and it gets. There's so many cheats you wouldn't even believe it, but they don't all work. When I sculpt fur on a model, I've literally hand sculpted every single strand of fur, and that will make some digital sculptors cry, the fact that I've done that. I've not used it for it, but I still do it the same way I would sculpt a putty model. Do you know what I mean? Aside from the fact I'm using parts I've used already or created earlier, I'm still sculpting everything from scratch. I don't tend to use like stamp textures and things like that. It's if I'm sculpting fur, I'll sculpt the strands of fur and then texture the strands of fur one by one. And it sounds a painful process, and it can be at times. That warg I've done recently, that was a killer. There's so much fur on him, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. As well, if anyone's watching who doesn't know what the warg's about, go over to Liontown Mini's website. The
link is below.
Yeah. It is, and also as well, if you were a CHILLCON, or are you guys coming to Derby? I can't.
I don't think Rick's coming to that. Rick, I put it in the comments. I can't remember if you're coming or not, but
okay.
I think it's just me on with Todd coming to Derby.
Okay, if Dan's hopefully coming to CHILLCON and Derby, the warg is a huge werewolf.
He's on a 90mm base and he's kicking a tree down.
Yeah. And so just to try and give you a kind of comparison, so this is the snow troll, just to show off this lovely little boy. A video tutorial.
Half as green as he did on your photos, you know.
This is a light thing. Hang on a second. Watch this. Color change. And now he's green. It's literally dependent on light. So if I switch that back, now he's going blue. And then, change. Either way, this is a snow troll. The warg is about the same size, if not probably a little bit tall.
He's on the same size base. I'd say he's probably up to about maybe the armpit of the troll.
Gotcha.
So he's still a big one.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that one, because that's so. Yeah, if you're at CHILLCON, go check that out. Do you reckon you'll have them ready for sale at CHILLCON and Derby?
We're hoping. Well, the warg's already available for sale. We've already got them on order on the website. We've already sold a bunch of them. But we'll be doing the UK Games Expo in June, end of this month, beginning of June.
Cool.
So beginning of June. It's like literally 2 days of this month and 1 day of June.
Fair enough.
It's obviously a free day. I don't know if you guys are going to be down there or not, but we should have all the Rathborn stuff in the cupboard, in the cabinet on display. We should have everything for sale. Anything we haven't got, we'll take pre-orders on. We'll get all the orders shipped out ASAP.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, for Derby, we'll definitely have everything in the cupboard. We should even have the Kingdoms models for Derby. And I know you like your we're calling them Raptors, but they're not quite.
Yeah, I won't say what the name we
It's a Notabo.
Yeah, a Notabo. So any Final Fantasy fans would probably recognise the similarity.
We've given them big raptor claws,
yes,
they've got massive, great big razor talons on their feet. They're not quite exactly the same. They're a bit more vicious. But...
Yes, they're a bit more vicious, and this kind of leads me on to the other thing. I'll mention that in a minute, but there's 2 more other factions for Rathborn: the Jade Empire and the Kingdoms.
Yeah, so at the moment we've got the Nordrassil, which are your kind of your Vikings guys. They're kind of loosely based around the Vikings TV show with a little bit extra. Yeah. I'm currently in the process of sculpting a special Spud model.
Yes.
It's going to be an Nordrassil Thane with a big hammer in one hand, a big axe in the other hand. I'm not quite sure how all the details are going to work out, but he's going to look badass.
Yes.
And I'm going to be doing an Elston model for the Kingdoms as well. So
we can fight each other.
You go toe to toe, mate. But watch out for his giblet gun.
That's so cool as well because obviously I don't eat meat either.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh my god, I'm more enraged.
Spray. Yeah, I've mentioned what the idea of it, but yeah, basically, I feed loads of little birds meat, and then when I don't like someone, I shove it all in a gun and shoot them. And the birds eat the meat off the person, plus the person.
Yep, a little feeding frenzy swarm of baby nuttabos.
Yes, I can't.
Pump it down a giblet mark target. That would be just where we're going with it. Anyway,
We will once it's all done. We need a one-on-one. I'm not sure the rules, but I still think it'd be really cool just to have a bit of a bash, real life fighting, but not real fight.
Yeah, that because there's in real life I get destroyed.
No, I could do it on Google Hangouts. Like I could just get a board, just make one out of cheese or something, and then
cheese.
You know what? As well, while no one's listening, I've not eaten dairy anymore. But anyway, I could make something right, and we could just literally.
He's gone vegan. He's gone vegan.
Oh no! I hope Jojo man didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone can in the chat. You can lay into him now.
That's a million views.
I had a vegan sandwich at lunchtime today. It was called a VLT, a vegan lettuce and tomato. It's just the most vegan sandwich I've ever eaten.
A VLT? What was vegan in it?
Well, I don't know what it was. Like mushroom or something. It was something weird as a substitute for bacon. But I always thought any vegan worth their salt would run screaming for the hills at the thought of somebody trying to emulate bacon. So
yeah, I'm not bothered about that. I'm just doing it for health reasons. I'm just going to try it out, see what happens. But what I'll do, right? Okay, sorry about that. I've just got a million dislikes now because I said that. Right? Okay. We could have I could set up the board. I could have a camera up here somewhere. I don't know why I'm pointing, so you can't see. Set up a camera up here, and Elston could put his camera over a dice tray and have another camera facing him.
Yeah.
Then I could have a dice tray and we'll just beat each other up. Or Elston can do it because he's got a very expensive camera that works. So you could do that. Oh, I'm well excited already.
I'm thinking CHILLCON special.
Oh my god, we could do it CHILLCON.
We can't do it.
You can use my demo board. I'll get you a Kingdom's Army painted up so you can play Kingdoms versus yours.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, we could do that. Yeah.
You do it on a stage if you want.
So many ideas all at once here.
Back to the game anyway.
Yeah, back to the game.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We got the Northwestern All the Vikings, and then we've got the Lycan Fiend.
Yes.
Children of Shah. The Lycan Fiend are basically a werewolf faction. So the game got coined early doors as Vikings versus werewolves. Yeah. Which in itself is a pretty badass concept if you're honest about it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be a Viking and fight a lot of werewolves? But the werewolf faction is, I don't know if you can see it in the picture behind me, if I've got the lights glaring off here, but a bit of the battle going on over this bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the werewolves are, they're pretty cool. I've painted up myself. We had a faction of them painted by Angel Giraldes.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, it did a nice job on them. And I've painted them myself since for the demo games.
Yeah.
And they're nice, I know I'm blowing my own trumpet here, but nice model. If you're into werewolves and you like them, go in there, click in and check them out. I've got a pile of them sat here that don't match up to a full faction. If you want one or two of them, pop them on the site. I've got the odds and sods to send.
Ooh.
So for the Nordrassil, for that matter, I've got an assortment of random Vikings. So one or two of them, let me know. I've got a full quota. I handed them to him at the last CHILLCON. So.
I'm all because I've already painted up the Nordrassil and
you did both, yeah, you did both.
Yes, I even hang on, there was someone else. Oh, have I got him here? I started painting a monk the other day that you sculpted.
Disappearing off camera, is it?
Yeah. I can't find him. Oh, he's around here somewhere. But there is the RPG set. Spud, you like this, actually. One of them is like a Shaolin monk. He's got a scarf. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the most popular one. Almost every single order that gets placed on my website includes one of them monks.
Oh, yeah. See, it's... let me log on. There he is.
You see him?
See him, Spud?
Oh wow.
So,
It's sick.
yeah, dude. If anyone gets a chance, go over to the Liontown Minis website and look at the RPG range. 'Cause some of the bards and everything doing the devil horns, I was like, yes, yes, that was so cool.
Yeah,
That
was me.
that's your snow troll. Very good.
That was me painting competition winner from CHILLCON.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Entry.
Awesome.
That little bit of the lycopene alpha. I really don't know how well I'm in a thumbnail here. I can't see how well it's focusing, but can you guys see that?
It's all right. If anyone,
I'll do it on the screen share if you want.
Yeah, can you pick him up?
Yeah, Spud, if you got. Oh, you're going onto the website.
Oh, I was going
to the website.
Yeah. Let's go on the website and have a look.
So, what would you like me to go on first?
I'm lazy and I've not photographed anything yet.
No, that's cool. Cool. Go to the shop.
Does that still say pre-order on that?
Possibly.
Oh, there's your monk. There's your monk then.
They can add it to a basket.
No, add to basket. That's cool. So yeah, go to the shop, Spud. Shop.
There you go. There's your monk then.
There's your monk.
Oh wow!
It's kind of got like a monkey vibe going on there.
Theme.
It's kind of a westernized version of a monk, I suppose.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm doing at the moment, I've been talking to the guys at the company formerly known as Warbanner. Obviously now Futsal Miniatures. And they do used to be called Warbanner Indie that they were looking to launch. And they want to basically champion this RPG range for us. And they're great guys over there. That they do a cracking job of Mortal Gods and Gangs of Rome and everything else.
Spud, check out that bard on that male bard on the left. That's the one.
You got him.
Yeah, that is
half Iggy Pop, half Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
So for these models then, so there's been a few issues with the molding, so not all of them are kind of like viable going forward. They they don't stand the test of time when the molds are made. The molds wear to a point where there's holes in the model or issues happen. So I'm going to go back and I'm just going to go and tweak the ones that need tweaking. We're going to be producing them all in metal. Cool. Or Warbanner are going to be producing more, not Warbanner, sorry, Futsal Miniatures are going to be producing them all in metal for me. And they're going to be redone. The intention being I'm going to do multiple heads for each one.
Cool.
Every model will have the human head that it comes with naturally now, a elf head, a half orc head, a tiefling head.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sure there was one other I was going to add in there.
Dragonborn?
Nah, the Dragonborn are completely different. I've already started work on the Dragonborn range.
Oh, okay. I guess they're kind of akin to the whole.
They'll be more like the Lycan Fiend in their kind of physical appearance, but with a big dragon head. And
cool.
So
nice.
The Dragonborn, I'm going for more of a. They've got a kind of a Final Fantasy-esque vibe in their kind of their armor and their gear and stuff. But they've got what's the word? Almost like a Chinese. Chinese, like feudal Chinese armor, that kind of look.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of like Oriental styling about their armors.
Cool.
One of the next things I'm planning on doing as well for the RPG range, I was going to do a race at a time. Do the these are kind of your European style characters, if you like.
Sure, yeah.
And then there was going to be your, the half orcs, the elves, the dwarfs, the gnomes, Dragonborn, and all that kind of business. The thing I'm thinking about doing at the moment, and if anybody's got an opinion on this, feel free to chip it into the comments. I'd be interested to hear it. But I want to do the same suite of characters I've already done, but with Oriental styling to them.
Okay.
The fighter would be more of a samurai than the fighter that exists now. Everything will have that, either Japanese, Chinese, maybe a bit of Mongolian thrown in, some kind of like, Eastern styled styling about the character.
Yeah.
And then the the next one after that will be the Nord style, the Viking style. So we'll have all of the characters again, but in a Viking style theme.
Oh, that's cool.
Another load in a kind of a Greek or Romanesque style.
Yeah.
Classical, if you like.
Cool.
And then a kind of a tribal variant of all of the characters as well.
So kind of a I'm guessing semi-historical element twist on a lot of different things on each.
Yeah, so that's it. So rather than just picking up another character and another fighter and have him as another kind of European-looking fighter.
Yeah.
You've got one fighter which is the European-styled one. You've got another one which is your like a Japanese samurai-style one.
Mm-hmm.
And one that would be like a Zulu tribal warrior.
Cool.
Or an Aztec, panther warrior, or something along those kind of lines.
Cool.
Just kind of bring in some historical, cultural references to the styling. Still very fantasy as well. Not entirely historical.
Sure.
But just to give some variety to the range, and obviously they'll all have the multiple head selections like the current one's going to get. So
nice.
That's the plans for the RPG range going forward, anyway, and we'll stick to the male and female variations of every single one of them as well. So
that's cool. So are you done pretty much the same thing that every other hobbyist does with their miniature collection, but with sculpting ideas instead of just gathered loads of them all together, and now you've actually got to do the work? And you're like,
kind of. I've started doing the work. I'm halfway there. I'm nowhere near halfway there. Basically, it's I've watched all Game of Thrones. I've watched various different movies, and every time I watch something else, I come away from it thinking, "Oh, isn't that an amazing thing? Let's sculpt a little bit. Let's throw some of that in there." We're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm thinking, let's do the Eagle Bear and let's throw him in there. All of these kind of little things, they all factor into you kind of your mental image bank and whatever, and they find their way in. I mean, Rick, I dare say there's some comments popping up here in a minute when I start talking about chocobos and Final Fantasy and all this. Rick adamantly hates anything anime. He hates all the Final Fantasy stuff. He won't even give it the time. I've said to him, mate, Final Fantasy Online, knock spots off World of Warcraft, very contentious. This is me getting all the dislikes and but for me, I absolutely love it. The only reason I stopped playing it was because I was paying the subscription every month, and then you kind of I'm sitting there with family, and I get a horrendous sense of guilt anytime I do anything hobby related that isn't sculpting. If I sit there and paint a model and it's not one of my models that I've sculpted and I know it's going in a cabinet or something like that, then I sit there and I feel like, oh man, I should be sculpting some. I should, I've got no Dressel models I've got to make. I need to do these next Dragonkin models, and I get that kind of feeling all the time.
Have you discovered the 5 a.m. yet?
Mate, I've done all sorts. I've got kids. I've seen 5 a.m. millions of times.
I know, but it is the practice. 5 a.m. just is the magic hour. But then again, I guess I don't have kids, so
by 5 a.m. I'm the art. I'm good for nothing by 5 a.m. It's most of my work happens kind of post 9 o'clock. And I think the last time I was really doing lots of late night work was we were trying to sleep train our oldest.
Right.
That whole, I don't know if anybody's tried the cry it out method and stuff. So basically you put them into bed and they scream and scream and scream and scream, and then at intervals you go in and check in on them, make sure they're okay and let them know you're there still. So I was in my man cave in the room next door, and I'm sitting there, I've got my paintbrush in my mouth, kind of like, painting. Time was going, right, time to go and check in on him. Go check on him, settle him down, leave him crying and screaming his head off, and then back in, paint more, crack on as much as I can. Oh, time to check on the little again, back.
Oh, yeah.
I got so much painting done during that period, it's not even funny. I'm probably about 6 months off doing it again, I think. So.
Oh, mate. Well, at least you get some painting done. So, also as well, just on the Final Fantasy topic, have you seen the release of the Final Fantasy VII remake?
I've seen various bits about it, because I know Advent Children kind of revolutionised all the graphics on it.
Yeah, because
doing a remake years ago, weren't they? Bringing it up to speed with that level of graphics and stuff.
recently they released some more video clips of what the actual remake. It's in development now, and I was like, oh, it's actually being done. Because
do you know what? I love Final Fantasy VII, but for me, I've been playing it well before that. I started probably Final Fantasy II. I remember I had Final Fantasy Mystic Quest on the Super Nintendo.
Wow,
that was like that. You play that, get it on an emulator if you can. If you've got the original game, it's completely legal for you to download it. Go get it. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, it's a great game. But like Final Fantasy II, I think it was Final Fantasy IV in Japan, Final Fantasy II in America. The way they graded them and marked them or whatever else. The early Final Fantasies were ace. I loved that game forever. And I've gone through all the remakes of it since on like the Game Boy and various other bits and bobs. But that's the one that like sold me. That was Final Fantasy VII. I was already a huge fan by the time.
Fair enough. Yeah, seven was a big in for a lot of people. I'm not entirely sure why. To be honest, it was
the first. I mean, Final Fantasy is epic.
Yes,
the stories are epic, and I think Final Fantasy VII was the first time they ventured into cyberpunk. Everything prior to that was pure fantasy. It was a pure cyberpunk adventure, but it was also a lot of people's first exposure to the series.
Yes.
Because it was so big and so epic, and it was the first game I think on the PlayStation. It was like 3 CDs.
Yes.
Like, I can't even play this in one go. I've got to like change.
And you had to. I think it's one of the first time they ventured into like CGI graphic cutscenes and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because that wasn't too prominent back in those times. So when everyone was just like, oh, "What is this?" But I've got friends who say 8 is the best. I really like 10. 15 was great.
I like 9, mate. 9.
Yeah.
Little BB, the Black Mage, and again, it wasn't the most popular of the games, but I bloody love it. So
yeah. So
it was the first one after they did 7. Number 9 was the first one when they went back to the styling of the originals that sold me in the first place.
Right, gotcha.
Me, number 9 I've got a soft spot for 9.
Fair enough.
8 I loved. 7 I loved. 13 lost me a bit, man. If I'm honest.
Yeah, 13 did lose.
Took that a little bit.
Did you try 15? Is it 15?
I haven't, right? I don't own an Xbox or a PlayStation. All my game is pure PC.
Fair enough.
And I've got like a 250 gig solid state drive in my PC. Sorry, I'm talking alien against bud.
Yeah, I'm just translating for people.
Do the translation. Final Fantasy 15 is 180 gigabyte.
Right. Okay. So that's your
own. And then they've done for the PC gamers. They've done a graphics pack, which amps up all of the environments to kind of like beyond the spec of what they did on the PlayStation and the Xbox, and that is another 80 gigabyte.
So that's your drive done.
I need 2 drives to download. I'd love to play it. I just can't justify the kind of the space.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I went for? I think I actually went for a terabyte solid state. I've got a 250 solid state for the operating system, and then terabyte. No, it wasn't a solid state. I don't even know what I've got on my computer, to be honest with you. I'll have to have a look. Anyway, we've been talking about Final Fantasy for a little while.
Yeah, we've got some people in the comments asking some questions. Some have been answered by Rick for like Rathborn.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. We've got Judge Good that's joined us and Mr. Travis Reed. So thanks for joining us today. So the first question, what I've just thought about, what I thought would be absolutely awesome. Have you ever thought about doing some busts of actual, the characters that you've designed for like Rathborn, but in like bust form? Because it'd be really cool just to have like the Snow Troll's like shoulders and its head just to paint up.
Do you know, I've not thought about doing it for Rathborn, but I have thought about doing it for like the role play models.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm looking around. I've got something somewhere. I had a sample model done. Have you got the screen share still for the lighthouse side? you find the male barbarian, fire him up on screen. This guy is basically, anytime I try out a new 3D printing service, this guy is my go-to. There he is, straight in front of you, male barbarian. This is my go-to test model. So anytime I've ever had anything printed, I have it done. I have this one done.
Gotcha.
And the reason I have him done is not because he's my favourite. He is one of my favourites out of the whole range, if I'm honest. And I've got 40 of him sitting in a bag ready to go into the CHILLCON goodie bag in the CHILLCON.
Hashtag secrets.
That's it. If you want to splash your cash and buy the paid goodie bag, he's included in it for every single person.
Nice.
So, so this model is my test model that I use for everything, and the reason I do it is because I've got half a dozen of him sitting around somewhere that have been done on various different 3D printers, so I can check the quality like for like.
Cool.
Obviously, I know my quality, the quality of my printer that I'm kicking out on there, and I know it's top notch. Whenever I'm looking at any others that I want to try out, this is the one that I use, because I go, right, I know exactly where I'm expecting.
Yeah.
The faults to be, the flaws to be, where the areas, where I'm expecting smooth areas, where I'm expecting it to be stepping or whatever else. So he's my go-to. I've had a copy of him done, 15 centimeters tall.
Oh.
So clean him up and get him ready. I may do him as a giveaway ready for CHILLCON.
What?
So, it was printed on a milkshake 3D printer, and the quality is looking pretty sharp from what I've seen so far.
Oh.
Nice. If anyone wants a 15 centimeter one of him, subscribe to our Lion Tower Facebook page. I'll throw some competitions up ahead of CHILLCON, and we'll do a giveaway and a draw.
Oh, Spud, we're gonna have to enter these competitions, dude.
And
amazing. You see, and this is what kind of got me enraptured about all Lion Tower minis. Just because it's just like, if you ever look through the shop and you just see one mini after another, you're just like, man, apart from the RPG range, I do need to get my mitts on those at some point once I got some pennies together. I'm gonna get those sorted. But yeah, I've got most of the models so far, and I'm gonna try and before you get to like GW level where it's like every single week is a new box set, I want to like keep on top of it. I've got them all. They're all painted. They're all done. So I'm not like this happening.
No, you have. I tell you what, you've done really well to like get almost every single model I think you picked up. Have you got any grey ones sitting around anywhere?
Apart from the RPG ones, I do need to do those.
You've got them as well, though. I remember you sending me.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. I've got a couple. You sent me.
You've got a not a bow.
Yeah, I've got a not a bow. Yeah, that's painted up. Got these two fellas.
Oh yeah, they're both the. I sent you them with the troll, didn't I? If I remember.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So I'm working on
the.
Sorry.
They were the two you were lacking from the original.
Yeah.
Muscle set.
Yes. I've done the not a bow. I've done Death Knight.
Yeah. Mini me.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't done the monk. And was there anyone else I needed to do? I can't remember.
I remember what you had, mate. So.
Oh yeah, I think that was about it.
I would say so. Mine, hopefully, I will getting all the videoing done and getting all the video for my YouTube channel for the reviews, and then obviously I can crack on with them. I'm nowhere as fast as Elston. So Elston paints 5-to-1 ratio to me, if not more, probably 10-to-1.
Yeah, but I'm kind of an abnormal freak when it comes to painting, to be honest with you. I'm like, it's instead of doing other things, I now paint as my hobby, but it's a nice way for my brain to sort of process things, and it sort of centers me a bit. So that's why I like doing it. But I probably should get outside more, to be honest. Not gonna lie, I probably should be outside more.
I get outside lots. I think I should be outside less and paint more.
I could throw some of my energy that way, and I'm doing. Well, actually, to be fair, this weekend I'm gardening, so I'm going to try that.
My oldest, he's 3.5. He'll be 4 July. July.
Yeah.
That's terrible. He'll be 4 July, but he's started really getting into all the stuff I do now, and it's great because he's kind of getting really enthusiastic about stuff. He wants to play with my models rather than his own toys.
Nice.
It's a blessing and a nightmare at the same time.
Yeah. So what's this? Whoop.
Yeah, play with this one, little man. Oh, where's the rest of it? You have that whole thing going on. But we take him out to Kenilworth Castle in Warwickshire. We got membership to like English Heritage and National Trust, and he loves going out to all these places. Every time we take him there, I end up buying him. I bought him he's got a sword and a shield, and he's got a little knight's helmet, and he's got a massive spear. And every time we go out, he wants to go out hunting goblins around the castle grounds. Stuff like that. I'll take great delight in standing there with a spear and a shield and a helmet on, and stop people from going past and telling them around and stuff. Like the fantasy kind of like influence is creeping into my 3-year-old. I'm sitting there going like, this is parenting goals.
See, Spud does a similar sort of thing, but usually no spear, no shield, no helmet. It's on a Friday night after a few, and it's so stop. Why? There's goblins.
There's goblins and there's giant cheeseburgers and Christmas trees everywhere.
I've got a story about goblins and stuff. I can't tell you on air, but I'll see you both next.
So stay tuned for XXX Chilling Wargamers Saturday at 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah. We've also
for £4.99.
It's not that great. It's really not. But if you want to pay us, we'll take the money.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we will. Jam Jar 34's dropped in to say hello. Judge Gurge. See, this is cool. This is cool. When you go on Demon Paint, they say nobody's fast as Elston. It's amazing to watch him paint at CHILLCON. That's a Golden Demon winner saying, it's amazing to watch me paint.
Judge Gudge is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, he is, like, I'm a machine, but he's a pure on artist. Like, pure, like, the stuff he produces, just like, one day I'll be able to do that, Judge, but yeah.
Hey, if you want to paint some of our swag, just drop us a line and I'll sort you out.
Boom! Deals non-stop.
Yep, Judge, we'll sort this. Well, I mean, I it seems because this CHILLCON derby, I need to double check with Dan from Atlantis. Is I'm doing it's kind of like a sponsored thing that initially it was going to be me painting up a Hydra for them in one day, whilst doing all the other things at CHILLCON.
It's a lovely model, but you're a mentalist if you're going to do it in a day.
Yeah, that's what he said. If you paint it up, and I took it as a bit of a challenge, like, I'll do that in a day. And just paint it, and the show would be the thing. So, but Luke from Luke's APS has also kind of said that he'd help out and make a base for it. So the idea, I think, at CHILLCON now is I'll paint the mini while Luke's making a base for it. And at the end of the day, because we're both pretty rapid at what we do, we should have a full kind of diorama style, nicely looking, fully painted model, which would be mental. But
do you know what? If you can pull it off, you're both machines.
Yes.
I will swing by and I'll buy you both a mug of mead.
Yes. Mead. Yes.
Because you deserve it if you can pull that off.
If we do it. But yeah, if not, like, I can't do it at the Derby one, but after that, if any company wants me to paint their stuff thing, I will have an attempt at trying to paint an entire model in a day.
I'm going to backtrack this onto alcohol here, actually. A CHILLCON Sheffield, which is my first CHILLCON ever, I was introduced to the Mead man.
Yes.
He's a legend, and he's going to be at Derby, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's shown up at every single show so far.
He absolutely loves it.
Get yourself down to CHILLCON. Go and visit the Mead Man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Right.
No traders, no toys, just mead.
Just
mead. Mead and drinking horns.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I've been hooked on mead ever since.
Look what we've done.
I've got a bottle of chili mead in my booth cupboard actually. So.
Wow.
Yeah. I to be honest with you, the crepes lady this year at Sheffield was like that was a really nice. Unfortunately, she's not going to be at Derby, is she?
Oh,
no, she's already booked somewhere because we tried booking. Obviously, we'll book everyone like a year in front, behind. I don't know.
Front.
And obviously we did them, and then the Mead guy comes all the time anyway. But then we said, "Oh, we've got this show and this show." She said, "Oh, I can make Sheffield because I've already got a Derby booked." So I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve was pretty miffed about the crepe lady in Sheffield, wasn't he?
Who was, sorry?
Steve. He was
What?
pretty miffed about the crepe lady in Sheffield.
It was something to do with hot chocolates thing.
Oh, he said he was ranting at the end of the show. He said he'd only booked her for himself. He didn't care about anybody else. He was
Well, CHILLCON is so well that the burger van that we have, I say it's burger van, it's not just a burger van, it's like a cuisine of awesomeness.
Yes.
There we go, that sounds better, because if not, it just looks like, sounds like a greasy spoon, which is well nice. This, by 12 o'clock, they'd sold out of sausages and buns, so we had to go send someone out to go get them some more to bring them back.
Really nice lamb burgers, if I remember right, as well.
Yeah, I had mozzarella ones that were just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things that start becoming a thing at CHILLCON though, is that as you're starting to run out of food.
Yeah,
I remember
it's getting bigger, isn't it? It's one of the things that, like, you know, people are starting to like discover it more now. You're gonna be outgrowing your venue soon, needing to, like, you know, you'll be like UK Games Expo.
There already has been some talks on that front, but I'm not going to say anymore. Otherwise, Dad will get us in trouble. With nothing's confirmed. There are talks.
Move on.
Yeah, yeah. Because it generally is. It's starting to look like we need more room.
Oh, we had a great day there, and like I say, I'll sign up to every single one of them going forward.
It's amazing. The cool thing is as well, because it's not CHILLCON's not drowned by the big guys. It's not got Games Workshop or Forge World coming in and going bang. I mean, I know Mantic and Warlord and that lot show up, but they're not as gigantic as what they do at like Salute and stuff like that. They don't have these like colossal stands to outgrow everything, because we just don't have the room to do that sort of stuff. So everyone kind of gets their own slice of the pie, effectively, and which is cool. And I really like it. And you get to engage a little bit more. Like, have you ever been to Salute, Dan?
No, it's one of the ones I've kind of steered clear of. I'm not a big London person.
No, it's a sweat box.
Yeah, and you know, the first show we ever did was UK Games Expo last year. We got the shortlist for the best miniatures range. Just a quick plug there. We got that, and then the second show we ever did was CHILLCON Sheffield.
Yes.
You know, and we've booked up for CHILLCON Derby. That one's all sorted. We've got UK Games Expo again this year. And then we'll do CHILLCON Sheffield again next year, and we may expand out and do a few extras.
Cool.
One of the difficulties we have at the moment is picking our battles, because obviously Rick's over in Belfast.
Yeah.
And I'm over in Birmingham. So, Solihull, posh bit. So all of the shows we do, you know, it's not feasible for like me to get Rick on a plane and get him out there to come and join us for all of them.
No.
So he'll do select shows throughout the year, and then the rest of them, it'll be me going with any kind of, like, you know, groupies I can rally in. You know, anybody who wants to volunteer to come and assist is more than welcome. And then, you know, if I can bribe the wife into a show and get the mother-in-law to have the kids or something like that, then she'll be along to help. You know, I have got people who will come and assist, but obviously, you know, it'll be, you know, not having Rick at every single show.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we have to kind of like read properly.
yeah, because I mean, I felt sorry for Dan from Atlantis because he was running CHILLCON Sheffield, just gone on his own. And
he got a lovely stall, hadn't he? Though.
yeah, it's amazing. You just look at it, you're like, but I felt so sorry for him because by the end of the day, he was just like, I can't come see you guys or anything. I've got to stay here. And I was just like, what happens if you go to the toilet?
That's kind of being sorted for Derby and our future shows. So we're going to have some of the volunteers. We have a schedule, obviously. We're going to have some of the trusted volunteers that we know, and they will be taking over traders if they need to go do something or go out somewhere or go look around look around the show themselves. And that's just to give them a little bit of respite from stood up all day and everything, especially if they're on their own.
Yeah.
So we're going to have what do you call it when there's a person that helps out? Maintenance? No. It's
a janitor?
No, not a janitor. What's sweeping up? We're not that posh yet. We're gonna have people that just, in other words, just gonna have people that are gonna help out traders when they need breaks and stuff.
Coordinators.
Coordinators.
Butlers.
Monitors. Not milk monitors.
Monitors. We'll find a cool name for it.
Yeah. You won't be given one of my names because.
I'll tell you what. Just on the topic of that, actually, one of the things I do need for CHILLCON in Derby, because Rick's not going to be there, is somebody to help run games. If anybody fancies playing a little bit of Wrathborn, we're just switching it over from a D10 system to a D6 system at the moment, which is it's still in kind of like the works, if you like. But the next version that gets published live will probably be the D6 version. If anybody does fancy kind of like coming and joining us on the stand, running some demo games and stuff like that, I'll reward you with some swag at the end of the show.
There you go, people.
Buy you a burger and some mead, probably. But anybody wants to kind of muck in and join in, pop your name in the comments and drop us a line.
See, this is awesome having Dan here because we don't need to do the advertising. Dan just does it for us.
It was a great show when we were there, man. It was, I really enjoyed the whole thing. The 4-hour kind of detour on the way up there was crap. Everything else from that point onwards was ace. So.
Yeah. I always have a wonderful trip up there because I set off so early in the morning that it's something like 5 o'clock every. Yeah, it's pretty much 5 o'clock every time I head up to CHILLCON. So I arrive about 8 o'clock in the morning. Everyone else who's turning up there is just waking up. I've been awake for nearly 4 hours already by the time everyone else gets there. Like,
I don't think so. I had to go up at R5 to get there, like R5, 6. Then went for breakfast. Went to meet Steve at the venue for 6:45.
Yeah, but I'm awake at 4:30.
It was just horrific. We was in the bar till 12. So, but yeah, it's going to be emotional again. We've got a long way to go, even though I say that, but then it won't be that long.
It won't be.
But actually, is it September, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No time on it.
It will. It's on a Sunday this year as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve. Some of them got work in the morning.
Yeah.
Days holiday, Steve.
Yeah. Everyone now's like, it's on a Sunday. Oh, I'm going to have to book Monday off. See, Steve, this is what happens when you book it on a Sunday.
And I can't book it off because I'm on turn time.
This is just a precursor to it being a 2-day event, though, isn't it?
Oh, jeez, and Brad.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens because if it goes crazy busy, we know that there's obviously an optimal day of a Sunday.
If it were 2 days, it would well. The thing is though, like when it's one day, obviously it's like putting the tables out, putting them away. But then if you didn't have to wake up the next morning and get there so early, it'd be mint because you could go out the night before and just drink a few lemonades and it'd be great.
Yeah. But thanks, Steve. Sunday.
Thanks, Dave. But we never know. We've said it online time minutes, just so let's remember that when it's a 2-day thing, we can go all the way back and say we planned it.
Yeah. We definitely.
I would still love to find the show that we mentioned Chilling Wargamers as a joke.
Oh yes, no, yeah, we've got to find that.
I think it's when I lived in my own place, not in this mall. I will not have just left. The one before that, I think it was in that one. So we're looking at least 4 years ago.
Yeah, because I was part of the team at that point.
When I had the attic room.
Was I part of the team at that point? I thought I was. For some reason I remember Jojo. I don't know why I remember Jojo on saying it, but I don't know if that was just you mentioning it. But we'll find it one day, and when we find it, like this is it. This was CHILLCON was because of us. Graham Riggs just brought up a very interesting point. At Sheffield, Steve was using Elston as a doorstop. Yes, he was. So just before CHILLCON opened, I get a little microphone thing. Someone popping out, "Can Elston come to the front?" I'm like, okay. I'm like, he's like, it's pretty urgent. So I'm like, okay, come along. Everyone's standing there waiting. There's a big old queue outside. I was like, right, what's up? What do you need me for? He's like, can you just hold this for a sec? I'll hold the door open. And he's like, cool, just stay there. I was like, right. And then everyone starts walking in. 15 minutes later, I'm like, thanks, Steve.
One of my favourite bits in CHILLCON Sheffield was a historical painting competition winner.
Oh.
Foxon. Yeah. Where's he gone? Oh, we've just sent him off to find the other guy.
Yeah, it was that guy I'll tell you what, we felt so bad for Foxon. He told us that afterwards. He's like, I didn't eat all day.
He had a radio on purpose. Yeah. So if he needed to talk, and he heard us saying, "Oh, can someone swap because I'm starving or whatever," he could have picked up and gone, "Hi guys, I'm hungry," and someone would have come and swapped with him.
I mean, we had the same thing at UK Games Expo last year because it's a 3-day event. Rick come over, and Rick's a big lad. By the time we got to the end of day 3, none of his clothes fitted him anymore. He'd lost 3 days. Every time we tried to sit down to eat a sandwich or anything, people just like bombard us, and you think, oh, there's nobody around now. We'll have a sandwich. You sit down and get your sandwich out. And literally, you get there, and then like you descended on, and it's like your sandwich back in the bag. And we got 3 days through having eaten barely anything. And by the time we got to the end of the night, you were so knackered you didn't even want to eat a meal at the end of the day.
Yeah. I worked UK's Games Expo demoing, and then a year after that, I was just like, I'm never doing that again. It's just so hard talking to people for like 6 hours non-stop, stood up, and I've never been so tired in my life. It was. I did UK Games Expo twice. I'm lying.
And that was the trade show, though. Do you know what I mean? It was the only reason I did that one, and the reason I picked that one as my first one, is I literally lived 2 minutes drive from the NEC where it's hosted. And I thought I'd be daft not to do it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did, but Jesus Christ, physical torture and abuse. It's hard going as a trader.
Yeah, it's hard work doing these shows, but
as an attendee, it's great, especially if you're like a mega nerd and you're into all things nerd, because they have like the Comic-Con or the memorabilia show is in like the hall next door.
Yeah, all the cosplay stuff and
all converges into one like hotspot in Birmingham for a weekend. So.
Well, to be honest, guys, we are about quarter of an hour over our usual time limit, but I've been enjoying myself, so that's why I haven't really.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, but obviously we do need to probably start wrapping things up. So
people going off and going home.
Yeah. So Dan, is there any last words? Anything you want to send out to people? Anyone want messages? Blah, 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 before we wrap things up?
The only thing I'll say is, like, at the moment, I'm not in that position where I'm like, I'll still do a day job in the daytimes. I'll still come home and I've got the family and everything else. I'm working around, like, life and everything else, trying to bring this together. But I'm still receptive to kind of other people's input and feedback. So if anybody's got any kind of like characters that they love and they really, really, really want doing, that there is a couple of like avatar models that I've put through the website that we did as a Kickstarter. If people want their models made as actual things and they don't mind me just bundling it into the range, I'm quite happy to hear from people to say, this is my character. Can I get him made, if you like?
Yeah.
And that the level of feedback from like the public it's invaluable from where I am now. So share everything I put up there. Share it about, spam it about, get people in, speak to me, message me, whatever else, and I'll always try and get back to everybody and kind of like be like I'm here with you guys, but with everybody else. So
yeah, community engagement.
Yeah, bring them in. Come on, everybody.
Cool.
And come by and see us when we're at the shows as well. It's always good to see people who we've been chatting to online, or we know are returning customers and people who are like buying the stuff repeatedly and coming and kind of seeing us. It's we at the shows you never quite get enough time to spend with those people. You wish you could spend a bit more with them, but
yeah, I think that's the dream thing at some point, to be like for all these people, like, I just want to sit down and have a beer with you at some point, or sit and play a game or something.
That's it. One day I want like Games Day, Golden Demon Games Day kind of thing. We'll have a Lion Tower Games Day and like bring everybody in and
Yeah, we can all have little pins.
Got a pin, I'll get you.
Well, thank you. I'll just throw my thing up before Spud wraps this up. But thank you everyone for watching, and thank you, Dan, for coming on the show. It's been a great pleasure. Hopefully we'll have you on again, because I am desperate to see me and Spud be made into minis. So when you have more of a hopefully progress with it, we'd love to see that.
Spud's about halfway at the moment. Yours hasn't even started.
It's fine. I understand I'm special. I need some.
By about June, I want to get everything kind of like almost there. So if you go post UK Games Expo, I might even have a printing cabinet for you both. So.
Cheese and bread.
Spud, we need to make our way to Birmingham. Yeah. Okay. I'll have it.
You both does, and you can spam them about and.
Awesome. So but thank you everyone for watching. Go check out Lion Tower Minis, go check out CHILLCON, and I'll pass you over to the big fuzzy Viking and get my camera to focus properly to wrap this one up. Over to you, old Spadicus.
So people, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, as always. Thank you for all the people that are going to watch this afterwards. Don't forget to give us a like or a dislike. We're not really bothered, as long as you click one of them. Make sure you give it a click, leave a comment below, and also don't forget to check out Lion Tower Miniatures. The link is below. I've already done it. I'm proper on it this week, on fire. I've got emojis in my titles. I'm just banging it out there. And I say, just go check the Facebook, go check everything out that they do, because it's absolutely awesome. And we're looking forward to having Dan on one day. Thanks a lot for coming on, Mr. Dan.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you all next week, where we have Bases of Operations on, a fellow YouTuber and Twitch streamer, to do some hobby chat.
Cool.
Have a long chat about the world of wargaming, as always, because we've stayed on topic for hours tonight.
Yes, it's been made
into Final Fantasy for a while, but
yeah, and then the computer talk, which there's some wonderful translations for.
Yeah. So peace out, people. Love you all, and we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.